I've seen videos where people are preparing for trips and they do a pack with me. Well, I didn't have the forethought to do that kind of video. So in light of that, I'm taking everything out of my car and we're going to talk about it as we put it away. First thing I'm going to talk about, my sleeping bag. So this is a Teton 20-degree double sleeping bag. The outside is a relatively durable canvas and the inside is a flannel. I have to say, I have never slept so warm out car camping than in this double sleeping bag. In years past, I've taken like 40 and 50 degree bags out into a temperature that was too low for it, and me and Dot both froze. So last Christmas, this was my one thing that I asked for. It's big enough that me and Dot can both fit inside. It does come with some compression straps and this nice carrying bag, but let me tell you, it is not only a sleeping bag for two people, but it takes two people to close this thing. I genuinely can't do this by myself, so I'm going to have my wife come out and help me finish zipping this bag up in a bit. Next parts of my sleep system were this, it's like 1.5, 2-inch foam pad. I don't know how to describe it other than that. It is almost the size of a twin-size mattress, maybe not quite as long, but it has drastically improved my sleep in the car. I can roll this out, I can fit on it and curl up. I think if you had two of these stacked up, it would be like the most ideal, but with just one, it's totally comfortable. I got this at Costco, I think for like $30. I don't remember the name of it. Comes with this little compression carry strap, easy to stick in a closet and store. And I've really enjoyed sleeping on it the last few years. I have nothing special to say about this pillow other than it was the cheapest one that I could find at Walmart when I forgot a pillow on one of my last trips. I just got this in order to have a decent night's sleep a few years ago, and it just kind of turned into the car camping pillow. Lives in a closet with all the other car camping stuff. I talked about these a little bit in my last video, but these are just some rechargeable LED lanterns that you pull to open. They recharge with micro USB. They have a flashlight function, as well as, I think this is for like hazards. If you were to put this out on the side of the road because you got a flat tire, just make yourself more visible. And I think this is SOS. I don't know Morse code. This came in a 2-pack, and I think I got them on Amazon for like $20. Oh, and the bottoms are magnetic, and I have used them to like stick to the side of my car at night when I had to like get some stuff done in the dark. So these are kind of the hunting accessories that I brought outside of my firearm. So talk about these kind of individually. This is just a collapsible Instacrate that I picked up at Costco. Folds down for storage when there's not a bunch of stuff in it. I would show you, but I don't feel like taking everything back out, putting it back in. Folds down to about yay big, and they stack. So we have a bunch of these that we utilize around our house. Inside here, we've just got dog food, dog bowls, extra water bottle for me and for Dot, a couple extra towels, charging cables for Dot's e-collar, big bag of dog treats because Dot's a good girl. Probably the most important thing that I have in here is this first aid kit from Gundog Outdoors. You will not find a more robust dog first aid kit for the price. I think I spent like $80 on this. I'm sure the prices have gone up since then. I got it a few years ago. Fortunately, I haven't had to use too much stuff out of here, but it is fully stocked. It's got bleed stops, it's got tourniquets, it has cold compressions, trauma shears, tweezers, everything that you need to stabilize your dog in the field and get them to a vet is in this kit, as well as a booklet that has a quick reference for first aid. Now, I used to carry this in my upland vest, but it's just a little bit too bulky, a little bit too heavy. They did come out with a field kit that I'll show you in just a bit when I talk about my upland vest. That's what I carry in the field now, and God forbid I have to use anything in there. That is to get me back to the truck where I can use something a bit more substantial. Up next, I've got my boots. These are just some Danner leather waterproof boots. I was switching from like a steel toe, like old work boot that I just used forever, and picked these up I believe last year. They're holding up really, really well. I have hiked in these before. They're a little bit too heavy for kind of my backpacking adventures. So these are kind of my off-trail shoe of choice. They are waterproof up to about mid-ankle, or like just above my ankle. That was a big decision maker in going with these boots. Really like them. Danner boots. Good boots. The only two pieces of clothing that I'm going to talk about, these are just cheap flannels that I picked up at Costco. I think they're from Weatherproof. They were really cheap at Costco. Don't really care. But these keep thorns off of my arms for the most part. So I don't know that you have to have super expensive upland shirts. Just my opinion. I think a decent flannel will get you through most hunting trips. We'll talk about these in just a second. Historically, over the last few years, I have used a chap for my legs to keep thorns off. These are from the brand called Banded. I got them on clearance, like a crazy clearance deal. They are a waxed cotton. They are really good at doing their job. They will keep your legs from getting just absolutely annihilated when you're walking through the brush. The only downside to these are the weight. I do prefer them over denim brush pants because you get a bit more flexibility and dexterity in these. So I feel like your hips don't hurt quite as much from like having to compensate for not having that knee mobility. But these do add a lot of weight to your hips, so that not only like makes you have to crank your belt a little bit more to keep your pants from falling down, it just also adds like actual weight to your legs. So it's not ideal, but I do prefer them over like denim field pants. Now these, I just picked up this last year. They're a canvas type material. These were like the cheap, I say cheap, they were still kind of expensive. These are the alternative from Bass Pro Cabela's to their denim field pants. And I have to say, I freaking love these things. They not only did a great job at keeping brush off because they've got thigh protection, ankle protection. I only had one thorn the entire weekend go through and actually stick me in the legs, but they're light. These are so much lighter than their denim alternatives, and they're so much lighter than those chaps. So highly recommend these if you're wanting to get some nice brush pants on a budget. Would very much recommend these by Cabela's. One of the last pieces of gear that I'm going to talk about, that's hunting specific, is this vest. This is the Sidekick system from Final Rise. It's a relatively small made in USA brand. You're going to spend some money if you go with a Final Rise, but the quality is absolutely impeccable. Now, I got this, as you can see, it is a very low profile, very small, compact system. It's great for quail hunting. It's great for the South. It's great for training in the summertime because you don't have this big, bulky vest on you. It's incredibly breathable. This yoke system is very similar to how my backpacking straps fit on me. It's even got like a chest strap on it as well. I really like this. You can actually even remove these and just wear this kind of as a fanny pack or a hip belt. And most of the different pouches that are on this, including this back game bird pouch, are removable. So you can take all of these off, move them around. Some people for training will actually take these shotgun shell holders off and put bird bags on them. So it's a great modular system that is from a great company. It is not the best for larger game birds. So a few years ago, or for the past few years, I should say, I've gotten to go pheasant hunting with some friends in Iowa, and this bag is comfortable to walk around in, but one bird fills up the whole thing. They do make other vests. They make one called a Summit. Hindsight, I probably would have picked up that. The yoke system, the strap system is very similar to this. It's still quite breathable, but just the carrying capacity is a little bit bigger, and it has the ability to strap a dog in there in an emergency situation if you needed to carry a dog out. Hindsight's a little 2020. I kind of wish I had gotten the Summit, but I still very much like this system. What I carry in my pouch, normally I just store these chaps in there when I'm not out hunting. I keep cable cutters in one of the pouches, one of the zippered pouches in the back. This is for cutting like bike cables. I actually bought this a few years ago to do bicycle maintenance. When I went to my training for DOT on how to be a bird dog handler, basically, there was a horror story that was told about snares. So if trapping is something that's available in your area, most of the time in an emergency situation, like to save your dog, you are allowed to snip someone else's snares. There was a guy who he literally had a brace on one of his fingers where his dog had gotten caught in a snare. He was trying his best to loosen it, but it didn't have the safety stop on it. So it was just getting tighter and tighter as the dog started to panic. It actually bit down on his finger. Thankfully, the guy he was hunting with had a pair of snips and was able to cut that wire. Now, the reason you'd want something like this versus just like a wire cutter on a Leatherman is most snares are braided wire, and these cut through braided wire like butter, whereas normal wire cutters can't quite get through all of those different braids, especially in a hurry. So I keep this for absolute worst case scenarios in my bag at all times. On the other side, I do keep just a standard Leatherman, nothing super fancy about this. Common theme, I buy a lot of stuff from Costco. I think I got this at Costco for like 40 bucks. But if I ever need pliers or a knife, I've got something on me in the field that I can use. In this back pouch, I keep that smaller Gun Dog Outdoors first aid kit. Now, this is not as comprehensive as the much larger kit that I keep in the truck with me, but this has enough first aid, bleed stops, tourniquets to get you back to the truck. So this is for quick first aid in the field, and then it's designed to get you back to the truck so that you can stabilize your dog and then get them to an emergency vet in those worst case scenarios. Thankfully, I've never had to use anything out of this one. I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. The only other things I keep back here are a couple packs of honey. It's good practices if your dog starts to have like a blood sugar crash to just have some quick sugar. Honey is shelf stable, can live back here as long as it's not punctured. I got these at a hotel that I stayed at a couple years ago. And last thing I keep in this back pouch is some emergency toilet paper from an MRE, a moist towelette, and a little book of matches. If I ever have to use anything out of here, I am in a bad situation, but again, I would rather have and not need than the other way around. On the other side, so I carry 2 water bottles. These come with this Sidekick system. These Champion Sport water bottles, I believe they hold 20 ounces. Could be more, could be 32. My one on my left hip is Dot's water. The one on my right hip is my water. Typically, she will run out before me, so I will supplement if needed. I always go with at least 2 bottles of water. In this shotgun pouch, I just have 12 gauge shotgun shells, and on this side, I have just a pair of gloves. These are some buckskin gloves I got on clearance from Quail Forever when they changed their warehousing out a couple years ago. They've held up really great. I also use mechanics gloves, mechanics impact gloves, high dexterity. Basically just to keep brush off of my hands. I actually took my gloves off one time this weekend and it got absolutely chewed up by a thorn bush. So I try to keep my gloves on. Last thing that I have in this system, all of the pouches come on this Sidekick except for this one. This one's made for the Garmin dog controller. I have the Garmin 550 Pro, and I'm not exactly sure what these collars are called. I think they're like the TT25. They have the GPS unit built in, so it is a GPS and stem collar. This is what was recommended by the people that trained both me and Dot on how to hunt for birds. It's been a really good system. I also have paired it with a Garmin Instinct watch. This does have some like GPS and tracking purposes for myself, so I can track exercise and hikes and different things like that, but it also will connect to the 550 Pro, and I can just have a directional arrow similar to the bottom screen on the controller on which direction and how far Dot is away from me. Just a little bit of extra peace of mind, so I don't have to take this out of the strap. I can just glance down at my watch. My watch will also vibrate if she goes on point and tell me, so not only do I have this to tell me where she is and if she's on point, I can also tell from my watch. So that's it for all the hunting stuff. So some overkill creature comforts that I have with me when I go car camping are my Camp Chef stove and my EcoFlow River. I think it's technically a solar generator. This is the Camp Chef Everest 2X. It's a 2-burner stove, propane. It does a really good job of cooking food. It heats incredibly fast. I barely turn it on above a simmer because you turn it up any higher and this thing just absolutely will roast anything that you've got. But it's what I cook most of my meals on, as well as do my coffee in the morning in a percolator. Also has this sweet carrying case and a bottle holder on either end. My EcoFlow River, it's the EcoFlow River Max. So originally when I got this bottom portion was not here, so it's a little bit shorter. You could buy this module to double the battery capacity. I can't remember how many. I think it's like a 500 milliwatt hour. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't really know. It does all that I need. So it will charge my phone at night. I carry a tablet with me typically so I can watch movies, and it will top off Dot's collar at the end of the day. It's got both a 12 volt car charger as well as your regular wall outlets. So I can basically use this instead of having to like turn my car on and charge different stuff. And it's way more convenient than having a bunch of smaller battery packs. Now, I do take those when I go backpacking, but if I don't have to carry it, I take this big guy. You can call me pretentious. I don't care. I got this mug for free. It is just a Yeti Rambler mug. It's my go-to for coffee because of how durable it is. Yes, you can find other insulated stainless steel cups from other brands. I have them as well. This one was given to me for free, so that's why I use it. I do like the size of it. I do have actually a larger version of this. That's my daily coffee drinker, but when I'm out camping, I like having the smaller cup. So pretty much the last thing I'm going to talk about is this 511 bag. I talked a little bit about it in my last video. I filled this thing with all the things for car camping that I could need, and then I decided to pick up backpacking. Part of picking up backpacking as a hobby is I scavenged all of the things I already own so I don't have to buy new stuff. And a bunch of things came out of here that are now in my backpacking gear. But I didn't really need them for this. So like I had a small stove. I've got a big stove. I had battery banks. I have this. So this kind of has turned into my mess kit. So it's got all the stuff I need for cooking, as well as all the stuff I need to go to the bathroom. So food in, food out. In here I have my percolator. I have my camp kitchen kit from GSI Outdoors. You can find them at most retailers. Again, I got this at Costco around Christmas last year. And it's got knives and utensils and cutting boards, basically everything that I need. I've got some trash bags in here that I added on this last trip. I have a pot and pan set that is a nesting set. I got, again, from Amazon for like 20 bucks. I didn't need something nice. I needed something that would be compact. Last thing I keep in here is roll of toilet paper inside a plastic bag. So if this thing were to get soaked, my teepee would not. And because I am a dad, I have access to baby wipes. Carry a pack of baby wipes in here as well. On the outside, I just have a bunch of charging cables. I'm actually going to put some back in here. On this side, I have Gerber knife in the front pouch. I've got some oatmeal. I have my coffee in here. I have a backup headlamp, some more utensils, and kind of an emergency solar panel. This thing is not the best. I have used it before. It's a Goal Zero Nomad, but man, you got to have it in direct sun, and it charges incredibly slow. So this is for real emergencies. But I do have a solar panel that I can hook up my phone to if something were to happen to my solar generator. On the outside, I just have a collapsible water bowl in case something were to happen to the other ones that I keep in the collapsible crate if it were to break or something. I have that, and this is a Rhino USA trench tool. So it's I think it's technically a recovery kit, but I use it to dig cat holes to go poop in. I'm actually going to keep these out because I got to do dishes. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I use when I go car camping, especially with Dot, going out trying to find quail around the state. Hopefully I can take this rig and go to other states and try to find birds there. But being a dad of a small child, I kind of like to stay close to home because I do tend to miss my little girl whenever I'm on the road. So if you like this video, if you have any questions about any of the gear, I guess ask in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. This is take two. So, but I just recorded for like 30 minutes and just realized I never hit record.